The penny loafer. It's the fastest way to look like old money. Not a watch, not a suit, just a shoe most guys walk right past. Back in 1936, a company called G.H. Bass cut a coin-sized slot into a plain slip-on, named it Ouijin, and accidentally built the uniform of the American elite. John F. Kennedy, the Ivy League, and 1980s Wall Street all lived in it. You'd assume a shoe that signals that much money costs a fortune to copy. But it doesn't, because the richest looking version usually costs less than the sneakers you've got on right now, and the man who sold America the whole fantasy wasn't born into it either. Ralph Lauren grew up in the Bronx as Ralph Lifshitz, stripped every logo off that plain slip-on, and turned pure restraint into a status symbol. The original is still the G.H. Bass Ouijin, about $110 on Bass's own site, or $50 at Nordstrom Rack. But the penny loafer is only the first of a small family of old money loafers, and each one sends its own quiet signal. So here's every kind, decoded through 8 of the sharpest dressed men alive, and exactly how to steal each look on any budget. You obviously care about getting this right, or you would have scrolled past already. And the man who wore that penny loafer best barely wore anything with it. The sockless penny loafer. Every photo of Robert Redford in the 70s is the same quiet formula. Penny loafers, chinos, an open Oxford shirt, and no socks. That bare ankle is the entire lesson, because it says you didn't think about this, and not thinking about it is exactly what separates real money from the guy performing it. Trying too hard is what gets you clocked. You already know the version that screams new money. The giant logo stamped across the toe, the stubby square shape, the plasticky high gloss shine. Any one of those 3 tells a room you dressed up to look rich, which is the precise opposite of the goal, because old money is the opposite of loud. So sometimes the upgrade isn't a purchase at all. It's a $2 pack of no-shoe socks and the nerve to leave everything else alone. Strip the shoe all the way down to a bare ankle and quiet leather, and you've already won the hardest part. But once you've stripped it down, you're ready to build it back up into something sharper. The dress loafer. Paul Newman took that same shoe, went sleeker and darker in polished leather, and wore it with tailored trousers instead of chinos. The loafer that slides under a suit when a lace-up feels too stiff. Spend a little more here, because this is the pair people notice the second you stand up. A Goodyear welted pair from Meerman runs about $175 and can be resold for years instead of being thrown out. An American-made pair from Allen Edmonds sits closer to about $250. Both look like triple the price, and both take a deep polish that only looks richer as the leather ages. Wear either one with no visible sock and a trouser hem to just kiss the top of the shoe, and you read as quietly powerful as any man in a $1,000 Oxford. And because it just slips on, it somehow reads calmer than a lace-up, like your shoes are the last thing on your mind. It's the loafer that lets you skip the stiff dress shoe entirely and still walk into any room like you own the building. But leather is only half of old money's vocabulary. The suede loafer. The future king of England is the proof. Prince William has quietly traded his stiff formal shoes for soft suede loafers, and suede is almost a cheat code. It hides scuffs, it reads softer and more expensive than shiny leather, and it makes you look off-duty wealthy instead of dressed up nervous. A clean suede penny from a name like Cole Haan lands well under $150, and if you want to spend up, a hand-finished pair from Crockett & Jones or Morjaws gives you that heirloom look for around $300. Keep a cheap suede brush by the door, spend 10 seconds on them a week, and the upkeep is basically free. Once you own one good suede pair, you'll reach for it far more than the shiny leather, because it just quietly feels like money without ever asking for attention. But leather and suede are the old guard. The loafer that made all of this feel young came later, and it came out of Italy. Now, just a quick favor before we shift gears. Right now, pick the one man on this list whose closet you'd raid without a second thought, and lock his name in your head. Keep it there, it pays off at the end, trust me. The horsebit loafer. Picture the exact moment this all matters. You walk into a room you're trying to earn your way into, a job interview, a table of people who clearly have money. Nobody asks what you make, but every person there clocks your shoes inside 2 seconds without even meaning to. That's the game, and the horsebit is the shoe built to win it. In 1953, Gucci laid a small gold bar shaped like a horse's bit across the top of the loafer, and suddenly old money looked like something a 25-year-old would actually want to wear. It's the shoe on Ryan Gosling at premiere after premiere, usually a sleek navy Gucci pair. The real ones run $700 to over $1,000, but the horsebit is a shape, not a trademark. And Cole Haan and Sam Edelman sell clean versions under $150 that read identical from 3 feet away. You're playing for the code, not the label. Just keep the bit small in gold, never chunky in silver, because that single detail is what separates old money from an obvious knockoff. Worn with cropped trousers and no socks, it's the old money shoe that looks completely at home on a man in his 20s. And there's a way to wear it if that's even sharper. The designer loafer. Call it the Timothy Chalamet move. He takes the horsebit and the sleek designer loafer to the red carpet, crops the trouser, bares the ankle, and treats the loafer as the boldest thing in the outfit instead of the safest. Proof that this shoe isn't reserved for men twice your age. The same affordable brands make sharper, more pointed versions for a fraction of the designer price, and a slightly pointed toe instantly reads more fashion forward than the round classic. It's the one loafer here you can wear with dark denim and still look completely intentional instead of underdressed. The whole trick is confidence, because the shoe only works if you wear it like it's the obvious choice. Hesitate and the room feels it. Commit and the entire outfit reads expensive. But if you want the loafer that whispers money the loudest, you have to go softer still. The driving loafer. George Clooney basically lives in it. Usually a pair of Todds with that little pebbled rubber sole, worn with linen and easy tailoring. Todds calls their version the Gomino, and the sole carries 133 tiny rubber studs, originally designed to grip a race car pedal, now pure quiet money shorthand. It's the I have money and nothing left to prove shoe, and it happens to be the most comfortable thing on this entire list. Todd sits firmly in luxury territory at around $500, but a suede driving loafer from Beckett Simonon or Cole Haan gets you most of the way there for a sliver of the price. Go suede here too, because it softens the whole shoe and quietly hides the scuffs that come from actually wearing them. It's the pair you travel in, airport, boat, dinner, without ever once looking like you tried. Still, comfort isn't the real flex. The real flex is wearing every one of these like you were born into it, even when you weren't. The Loro Piana loafer. Now think back to that name you locked in earlier. Whoever you picked, I promise you this, he wasn't born knowing any of this. He learned it exactly the way you're learning it right now. And no one proves that harder than the last man, David Beckham. A working class kid from East London who grew up with zero of these codes and whose everyday shoe today is a Loro Piana suede loafer. The quietest, most expensive looking loafer made, worn with muted knitwear and absolutely nothing shouting. That's the whole lesson. Old money loafers were never about the bloodline you were born into. They're a set of choices, and every single one of them is available to you right now. So do this before your next big room. That interview, that seat you want at the table, start from the ground up. Buy the Ouijan, skip the socks, and let the quiet do the work. Because that's the real secret folded into a plain pair of penny loafers. The people who belong never announced it. Their shoes did the talking. They were never richer than you. They just knew which loafer to reach for, and starting today, so did you.